CNN's S.E. Cupp sees early warning signs of Democrat disaster. Impeachment farce may help Trump. Well, look, man, we've said it over and over and over again that impeachment is going to backfire, that it's hurting moderates, and it's still up for debate. I lean towards it's probably going to hurt them. Democrats think it won't. Republicans think it will. We'll see what happens. But in the end, I believe all of this is going to blow up in the face of the Democrats for one important reason. Regular people don't know, don't care. It's that simple. Joe Biden is still in the lead. I kid you not. Which poll do I have here? This is impeachment. Here we go. Joe Biden actually went up recently. How is it possible? The dude just thought he was in Ohio when he was in Iowa. It keeps happening. Even CNN employees in leaked Veritas videos are like, Joe Biden will be like, hey, Nebraska. And they're like, dude, you're in Iowa. And it's like, oops. Joe Biden is a gaffe machine, but he's still in the lead. How can that be possible? What does this mean? Well, I'll tell you what. The reason why I started with impeachment and why I believe this is impeachment is going to blow up in the face of the Democrats. Well, we'll see, though. I could be wrong. It's because regular Americans aren't paying attention to the day-to-day nonsense. They're burned out from it, from Russiagate to Ukrainegate. It just never ends, and people have tuned out. So much so that I kid you not, the people who want Trump to be impeached, it's actually gone down quite a bit in the past week. Now, it's gone up a little bit. There you go. A little bit up. But around, what is this? October 20th, it started to go down. The people who want Trump impeached and removed was going down. And we have these polls from the New York Times that I'm going to look at and then extrapolate and to tell you why this won't work. Now, as I said, regular Americans don't care. Take a look at this. They say despite low national approval ratings and the specter of impeachment, President Trump remains highly competitive in the battleground states, likeliest to decide his re-election, according to a set of new surveys from the New York Times, Upshot, and Siena College. Take a look at this. Signs of the president's advantage in the Electoral College has persisted or even increased. What do you think the average person's doing right now? Do you think they're sitting there screaming about, Trump scandals? Nah, they're probably, watching some sports game or going to Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that. I imagine football is involved somehow. I think baseball's big right now. No, baseball just ended. Yeah, the Nationals won. So we got some charts I want to show you. These are the important battleground states, I believe. So they're saying, yeah, okay, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. There's two really bad things for the Democrats. First, Elizabeth Warren in Michigan, Trump +6. Yeah, I'm not surprised Warren does really, really bad against Trump. Now, Sanders is pretty even. Okay, he's got 3 out of 6 of these battleground states are listing. Biden is +3 across the board. Now, you may be saying, Tim, Biden being, +3, +3, +2, +5, he's got 4 out of 6 and he's tied for Michigan. Hey, that's really good news for Democrats. I say, sir, no, it's really bad news for Democrats. Joe Biden at an event thought he was in Ohio, okay? And he was like, I mean Iowa. Joe Biden recently turned his back to the crowd and started talking to a gigantic mega screen. Like, I don't even know what he was doing. He apparently didn't know where the crowd was. Joe Biden is gaffe after gaffe who recently said he was going to bring America back into the Paris Peace Accords. Was it Vietnam or something? If Joe Biden can say all these nonsensical things to applause and he's winning, to me it says Americans don't know, don't care, and the fact that they would support Biden means they're not paying attention to impeachment. Now, I tell you, this may be bad news for Trump to an extent, in that Biden might beat him, but I don't see that being the case, especially when you look at Moody's analytics. So let's combine a few things. I kind of talked about this before, about yesterday, with Nancy Pelosi saying, oh no, the far left, we got to win the Electoral College. Dude, if regular people are not paying attention to what's going on so much so that they're actually supporting Biden, or I tell you this, they would actually support Biden over Sanders, man, you got other problems. Let me stop right now. Let's imagine these people, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these people who support Biden actually are paying attention and they still support him over Sanders and Warren. Yikes. I'll tell you what, man, I would take Bernie or Warren over Biden any day. And I disagree a lot with their policies and don't really like them too much as people. I can say that for a lot of politicians. I think Warren's got some good ideas when it comes to big tax, so that's fair. But she would not tell the truth about taxing the middle class, and Bernie would, so I can give them respect. So you know what? I can disagree with them, but at least I think they're all there, just wrong. Biden's not playing with a full deck of cards. And if people are going to support that over Sanders, we got other problems, man. Well, come on, let's be real, though. The reality is nobody's paying attention. So impeachment doesn't do anything. In the end, all impeachment does is rile up Trump's base. If people are going to support Biden, this is just 2016 all over again. But I'll tell you what, check this out. We scroll down. Here we have among likely voters. In this case, Biden's got a big sweep. He's got less of an advantage in some states, but he breaks the tie in Michigan. Look at this. Among likely voters, Warren's just out completely, and so is Sanders. So they really think Biden's going to win? Man, I got allergies. I'm sorry. It really does feel like nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention. All they know is Biden familiar. Check the Biden box. I don't know what it is, because I'll tell you what. I'm not convinced how people... No, I'm going to stop myself. I'm going to stop. I was going to say, I'd have to assume people know some press, right? If they're going to oppose Sanders or Warren. But no, I think it's simple. Sanders or Warren, for the most part, are just the socialist candidates, even though Warren says she's not. But they're also not longstanding and familiar. And Joe Biden is basically the Obama era comeback. But if his lead is this low in these polls, we base it off 2016, I think Trump's actually in the lead. But now I want to show you the funnier thing. I love this one because this says to me, I know why Trump wins. Somebody posted this, a lefty, and they were making fun of Trump supporters. My heavens, take a look. What different types of voters said? White, college educated, Clinton. They all said Biden, Sanders, and Warren. Black, Clinton, Biden, Sanders, Warren, by huge margins. Hispanic and other. Across the board, all these different groups. But white with no college are Trump 20 plus 26, Trump. And they were showing this because they were trying to make a point about how stupid Trump's voters are. They're so dumb. They think you don't need college. Oh my God, they're so dumb. Let me tell you something about people who don't go to college. They run businesses. They have trades. They work in the real world. These people who went to college work in very specific sectors. They work in white-collar jobs. They don't have connections to real work. This brings me back to the video I made earlier about Kyle Kalinske, where he flew over, he was in a plane, he was flying, and didn't recognize farms. I'm like, there you go. Do you realize that people who act like, it's so frustrating. The assumption that going to college makes you smart. No, going to college is where you get institutionalized for 26 years, and you might become a specialist, but smart is a whole other thing. Whether or not you have critical thinking skills doesn't come from college. College teaches you to memorize certain ideas. And there was this funny thing I read once. They said what college does is it takes people who may or may not be intelligent enough for college, forces them to memorize things, and then because all they've done is memorize and not understand, they mishmash them together and come up with crazy ideas that make no sense. I read somewhere that said there's an intelligence threshold for whether or not you should have higher education. But just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're going to be smarter or better at business or understand the world. Case in point, me. I didn't even finish high school, okay? And I love how the left likes to use that to make a point about how dumb I am. And it's like, man, let me ask you a question. You can't figure out how to get a job, how to start a business, how to even get Hillary Clinton elected. And you're going to criticize me, who's got millions of followers in a successful business, who founded one of the fastest growing news organizations in history and worked for these big companies. You think you're smarter than I am because I didn't go to college. I'm sorry, there's a sad reality to this. Intelligence is not from college. You can be intelligent and choose to go not to college, right? But here's what I think. When it comes to high school, for instance, I think there's a difference between the assumption is that if you dropped out, you must be dumb. No. Some people who are lazy and uninterested drop out. Some people who are interested in other things drop out. Rob Dyrdek hosts a successful show on MTV, and I'm pretty sure he's a dropout, and he's probably a millionaire. Pretty sure he is. Just because you drop out or don't go to school doesn't imply anything about your intelligence or capabilities. In fact, I would argue the inverse. To these people who are saying white with no college, you've got a potential group of people here. People who knew they didn't need to go to college because they knew what they needed to do and what was going to work for them. People who went to college, for the most part, did what their parents told them to do. And this is what I've found when it comes to hiring. You want to talk about critical thinking and ability? People, in my opinion, who haven't gone to college tend to be better workers for two reasons. For one, they may be dumb and they may not have been able to go to college, but that means in order to survive, they had to do hard menial labor. Working at McDonald's or other low-tier jobs, they said, hey, I know what I have to do to work. Not all of them. Some of them are high school dropouts. But you have that group of people, hard workers who know they weren't cut out for college and higher education and said, I better figure this out. You also have people who said, I know what's right for me, and no one can tell me because I'm confident in my own abilities, I'm going to go do something else. But let's be honest. I mean, the other group is just tradespeople. Somebody who grew up and said, if I go to college, I'm going to rack up debt, or I can go and be an electrician. That's what's really funny about this. The assumption that college means you're smart. You're wrong. A lot of these Trump voters make more money than you, run businesses, and know more than you. You know, take an electrician who has a better understanding about the fundamental forces of nature, electricity being the first one, than a college grad who writes a blog about Brad Pitt's junk for Deadspin.com. That's what you get. These college grads are snooty elitists. So in the end, I guess I'll wrap this up. The reason why I think impeachment won't matter, the economy is good, regular people don't care, but more importantly, these college-educated individuals who write for these woke blogs who think they're smarter than you are elitists who can't see their own faults. And because of that, because they don't learn, they're in the same trap they were in 2016. Complaining about, people not being woke enough, insulting Trump's base, not knowing what farms are, etc. Whatever, you get the point. In the end, is anyone going to watch the depositions and read the testimony? No. So I think the Democrats might capitalize on that, knowing they have a nothing burger when it comes to impeachment and hoping it just sounds bad enough. But in the end, I think your average voter who Trump is probably going to get are people who are like, I don't know, economy's good. I'm just going to, we'll just vote for the incumbent. There it is. Waste of time. Interesting developments in the polls. We'll see what happens. I will tell you, though, Warren, not a good bet. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thanks for hanging out.